Hello Sagittarius. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Sagittarius. Joining me, and I hope this video finds you well. I hope that whatever messages you get from this video, it would be helpful for you. A tremendously busy month, all right? So basically what that means is, you just need to pace yourself, okay? Don't run yourself ragged. Don't overburden yourself. Don't stretch yourself too thin. When you work yourself to the point of exhaustion, Sagittarius, you guys tend to fever over, okay? So allow your fever to break. Make sure that you sleep it off. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Make sure that you get enough sleep, get enough rest, okay? So what I'm seeing first of all here in this card is the Ten of Wands, and this is basically carrying the burden, okay, carrying the load, being I feel like stretched so thin where you have a lot of responsibilities on your plate. You're able to handle it. I mean, comparatively, the bundle is very manageable for this mouse, but the mouse can also I got like a little bit of resentfulness, like resentment with this mouse. It's like, why isn't anybody doing it? Why just me? Why am I carrying the burden? So I feel like it's going to be a very, very busy month. People might renege on their responsibilities, and then you have to carry their load as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Learn to be patient and anticipate that, a lot of the times you might have to step in to take care of a situation that you might not have intended. Okay. So when I was shuffling out this spread for you, I saw two scenes, and I really honestly cannot make it out. Like I can't find meanings in the scene. So the first one was I see this really, really thin and elderly woman. She's walking her dog. Her dog looks like a beagle. She's dressed really, really nicely. She's wearing a pencil skirt, like slight high heels. She's very elderly, but she's, walking tall and proud, okay? So she looks to me like she might be in her 70s or 80s, but she's like not hunched over. She's walking, she's wearing heels, she's dressed really nicely. She has a dog that is, she's walking. She has like newspaper in one hand, a cup of coffee, like a paper cup of coffee in the right hand, newspaper tucked under left arm, and she's walking like in a really strong gaze, like she has somewhere to be, and she's dressed really well. She goes to the ballet, and then that's kind of like what she does every weekend, I feel, because this woman seems like she's retired. And so she goes to the ballet, front row seats. Everyone knows her name. She has her own little box. And she watches little children perform ballet, and like little girls, they come out in their frilly dresses, and then they do their routine, and then other people come in and do different performances. So she likes the theater, she likes the ballet. And I feel almost like she might have been a ballerina in her youth. But I'm also sensing like, because she's elderly, okay, I'm seeing a lot of wrinkles, a lot of frown lines, and a lot of sharp angles to her face. So I feel almost like she's trying to relive her youth. Okay, she's trying to capture her youth. She's trying to kind of like recreate that moment, that youthfulness, that moment of when she was carefree, that, that nostalgia for the past, or the nostalgia for, wanting to be young again. That's what it feels like to me. And then the second image was, I see like dotted lines, okay? You know how when you get like something custom made, so for example, a suit, the tailor would draw like dotted lines on a suit and then would cut, right? So I'm seeing dotted lines on black cloth, and then someone draws the line, and then someone comes in with scissors. And then right after that, I saw like dotted lines on human flesh, okay? Kind of like plastic surgery, okay? That's what it feels like to me. Like, I don't see any cutting though, thank God. But I saw like pen marks, dotted lines on like somebody's tummy. There's like a belly button in somebody's tummy. So somebody might be wanting to lose weight, might be wanting to do like a tummy reduction or something like that. And then I'm also seeing it on someone's face, like wanting to get a lift. So things like that, okay? So the imagery with the woman and then also the dotted line, I guess, all together, they remind me of, your sense of mortality, okay? So I feel for many of you, and I guess the images make sense now that I had time to kind of relay the messages and the images to you. I feel like for many of you, you might be a little bit concerned about the way you look. Am I pretty enough? Am I thin enough? Am I muscular enough? Is my hair voluptuous enough? Are my lips thick enough? Do I have wrinkles? I feel like, body image might be coming out, okay? For some of you, I feel like you are taking steps to remedy the imperfections about your body. So for example, I do feel for many of you, you're lifting weight, you're going to the gym, you're eating right, and you're trying your very hardest to, it's not about cheating, okay? It's like putting in the hard work in order to get the results that we want, okay? But let's be honest, Sagittarius, a lot of us, I have a Sagittarius moon. I understand we're a little bit impatient, okay, and we like to cut corners whenever we can without compromising the end result or without compromising the quality. We do like to cut corners. We tend to get a little bit impatient, and so many of you might have been working really, really hard. Waking up very early to go to the gym, wanting quick results, okay. And even thinking about, potentially like, oh, let's do a tummy tuck, let's do like an eye lift, let's cut corners, or let's cheat and take the faster way out, okay, and the faster way to get results, okay. So for many of you, it is as drastic as wanting to change the way you look, wanting to look healthier, wanting to, you know, put in the work to get the results, physical results that you want. Others of you might be looking in the mirror and you're thinking like, am I still attractive? Do I still look nice? Are these frown lines showing? Do I have more wrinkles on my face? Do I have more moles? Do I have more freckles? So I feel like there's something about the way that you look that you might be a little bit insecure about, okay? Or for many of you, there's a pressure, okay? Pressure from your environment, pressure from your job to look a certain way, okay? So, in the movie modeling business, there's also a lot of that, like comparing ourselves to other people. Or even like in order to land a job, we have to look a certain way, okay? We have to be of a certain body type. We have to dress a certain way. We have to talk a certain way. And so there's a lot of like external expectations. And I feel for many of you in the past, you might have, frowned upon this because I feel like you guys are very authentic and you don't really judge people by the way that they look. And so for you to encounter this or to see this in real life, I feel like it's disheartening for you. Okay, but I do feel like a lot of it is internal though, where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like fixated on something about you that you feel is not perfect, okay? You're fixated on it, and for many of you, you're trying to find solutions to make that imperfection go away or to diminish it or to lessen it. And for many of you, I feel like you're not cheating, you're not taking the shortcut out, you're putting in the hard work, hitting the gym, doing things to clear up this imperfection. It could even be like, like having clear skin and washing your face and using the right cleansers and even going to see a dermatologist. But you're definitely taking the steps in order to fix things, okay? Which I feel in the grand scheme of things, it is healthy and it is the right way to go, okay? So I feel like you see something, you don't like it, and you want to fix it, okay? I do feel a certain pressure to look a certain way, to act a certain way. And I do feel as well that you're not really enjoying it, okay? You want to be you want to be authentic. And you feel like any type of an infringement upon your rights the way you express yourself is a violation. That's how you feel, and I feel like you're not really going to tolerate it. Okay, and then I'm also feeling as well, for many of you, what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a continuation of last month. And last month, I remember specifically that it was very relationship oriented. This month, we're steering away from that, but I do feel like a similar energy coming through. So keep in mind, I'm still doing this I'm doing this video in the month of February, and today is, you're putting in a lot of work. Okay, for many of you, I feel like there's a little bit of resentment coming through from your end. Okay. And I'm drawn here to this 10 of Wands and 7 of Cups here. Okay, so, Sagittarius, we are very, very gung-ho about things. When we do something, we jump all in, we dive in, okay? We don't mind, like, getting our hands dirty. We just, like, if we're going to do it, we go in all the way. We don't half-ass things. And I feel like you're the person that is always willing to help other people. And you're the person that, once again, you work really fast. You finish your responsibilities. You finish your things. And you offer other people, you offer yourself, your assistance, a helping hand to other people. And then I feel like once you offer, you help them with their responsibilities. But if the shoe were on the other foot, if they have the free time, they don't offer to help you. Okay? And so I feel like you want to take a look around and to really think about, where you're expending your energy, who you're helping, and whether or not helping them over and over and over again is a big burden on you. Okay, so I feel like there's a situation here where you helping someone allows them to coast, and then when you're in a jam, you have to do it on your own, and they don't offer the same assistance. Okay, so it's not very reciprocal, and I feel like this is an ongoing thing. And I feel for many of you, this isn't a work situation. It's an ongoing thing where you end up bearing the brunt of the burden, okay? So it's like you're here working very diligently, the pack rat, like carrying this burden, and the other person's just sitting there looking pretty, feeling that sense of entitlement, like, oh, I don't need to lift a finger. The Sagittarius person will do it. The Sagittarius person will come to my rescue, or the Sagittarius person will offer their assistance. And so I feel like you're starting to see this pattern, and you're starting to see how this might not be fair, how this might not be favorable to you. And you're also starting to see how you do it out of the kindness of your heart. But when you're in a jam, this person is not as willing to put in the work to help you. And so I feel like, this might be a little bit of an eye-opening thing. You might have been, for whatever reason, you might not have seen this person in this type of a light in the past, but now the spotlight is shown on this, and you're starting to see it. What we have here is the moon, and the moon indicates confusion. It's a very, very muddled energy. We don't have all the evidence, we don't have all the proof, but we do have our intuition that is telling us about the situation. It's telling us the story, and it's telling us about, some of the things that could be clouded, or how our judgment could be clouded, how we're seeing whatever it is that we're seeing might not be the true reality of a situation. So that's what I'm sensing here. I feel like you do help a lot of people, and I feel that you're starting to see how it disincentivizes them from working hard, from doing their fair share of the work, when you're always the one stepping up. Does that make sense? Okay, so I feel like it's not about telling you to step down, but I feel that you need to be a little bit careful about where you expend your energy and to whom you give your energy. Okay? I also feel for many of you, you're dealing with a relationship partner, and it's also echoing the same type of energy. The relationship partner here is the Seven of Cups, okay? This is somebody who gets distracted easily, and this is somebody who has a million things that they're dabbling in, okay? They could be, full of options, full of choices, quite possibly very, very indecisive. Okay, they're scattering their energies, scattering their tentacles far and wide, and I feel like their energy is not focused, it's not directed the way that yours is. You get things done. This person leaves so many things unfinished. Okay, and when you're dealing with this person, it seems like they, for whatever reason, can't take care of the mundane things, the everyday things, the practical responsibilities. And so you have to also step in and take over the situation. I'm seeing somebody who's very artistic, not autistic, like very artistic, crafty. I'm also seeing somebody who's like a dreamer, like they're like hopelessly romantic. They're always reading, always drawing, always listening to music. Their head is not in the real world. They could be a little bit spacey. They could be a little bit like clumsy, a little bit ditzy, a little bit absent-minded. And I feel like it's a little bit frustrating when you're dealing with this person because like they leave everything a mess and you might have to clean it up. For some of you, this could be a child. For others, it could be a partner. For others, it could be like coworkers where they constantly leave things lying around unfinished. You're stumbling into all the things that they kind of like left astray. And so I feel like it's frustrating having to deal with this, having to share space with this person. And I feel like you're growing a little bit impatient with this person, and you're wondering why they can't get themselves grounded. Okay, so I do see this, energy coming in where I feel like you might be like frustrated with the way in which other people do their work. You don't understand why it takes so much time. You also don't understand why they're so like spacey, why they're so forgetful. Okay? It's not the end all, and it's not the end all. So I feel like these are minor in the greater scheme of things. These are minor frustration, and so giving this person checklists, to-do lists, give them a deadline. Tell them, for example, Monday you need to do this, Tuesday you need to do this, Wednesday you need to do this, and so on and so forth. Give them checklists as well as deadlines in which you want some things done by, and I feel like that's really going to help alleviate some of that frustration because it puts the responsibility on them. And I feel like they're naturally not very organized to begin with, and this will kind of like force them to be a little bit more organized and a little bit more courteous and conscientious towards you. Okay, so that's the first four cards, and I feel like this is going to be like dotting the landscape as we progress through. The frustration doesn't get out of hand. Be careful that you don't get upset and angry and say things that you don't mean, and so just be mindful of that. Okay, so this is going to be about planning in general. The logistics and the planning aspect of things just will not go smoothly. Okay, and so just take it with a grain of salt. Be easygoing, and plan for delay. Anticipate delay. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it. We can get mad. We can throw a tantrum. It doesn't really change anything. And so conserve your energy. Okay, conserve your energy. Focus on the things that actually matter, that you can change, rather than on the little tidbits and the frustrations. Okay, so what I have here, we have two kings. I have here the King of Cups and the King of Wands. Okay, and I look at it kind of like this is the beginning of the month, and this is the end of the month, and the energy in the middle is like the very prominent energies. Okay, things that will be on your mind, things that you're heavily thinking about, and things that you're mulling over. Okay, so once again, we have two two kings and their opposing energy. One is a fire sign, so this is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. The other one is a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Oh, they're supposed to be like this. So, first of all, let me talk about this energy. Some of you might be dealing with, one person or the other past, okay? And so what I'm feeling is there is somebody here that you're very, very passionate about, okay? So there's a lot of passion here. And this is somebody who is incredibly stubborn, okay? And Sagittarius, a lot of the times we like the thrill of the chase, okay? We like it when somebody plays hard to get. We like it, Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius, and especially our moon in Sagittarius. I feel like there's an element of, the thrill of the chase. Whatever doesn't come easily, it becomes a lot more alluring. It becomes a lot more appealing to a fire sign because we want to attain it, we want to conquer it, we want to have it. Okay, so there's a lot here about this ego energy that you have between you and another person. They want to conquer you, they want to have you, you likewise want to conquer them. So it's a very, very passionate connection. It's all about power. It's all about attraction, power, but dominance and wanting to like have the other person. Okay, it's very lustful, and it's also very much about ego. It doesn't indicate to me that it is bad or anything like that, but I do feel there is a power struggle between you and another person. The way this person shows up here, this is somebody who I feel like they feel a sense of entitlement. Okay, it's like, I'm the king, the peasants come to me and pay tributes. I don't go out into the world and meet the peasants. Everyone has to come to me. I'm regal, I'm royalty, I require a certain lifestyle. I require a certain amount of wealth or amount of affluence or amount of attention. So I feel like there is a sense of entitlement associated with this person. And if they don't get the attention, if they don't get whatever it is that they feel they are entitled to, they get a little bit upset. Okay. And as a fire sign, I feel like for many of you guys, you're very live and let live. And so when you're dealing with this person, you try purposely not to give them the attention. You try to ignore them, or you try purposely to kind of like set them in their place, to let them know that, you're just one person, you're not that important. And I also feel there might have been like a lot of conflict between the two of you, okay? And a lot of it has to do with you teaching them that the world doesn't revolve around you, okay? And then I feel like they're teaching you that I'm not going to be chasing you, you come to me. And so I feel like the more that they try to push you away, the easier it is for you to walk away from them. Okay? So it's like it's having the opposite effect. Okay? And I feel even though the attraction is very, very strong, this person might be a little bit self-centered. They might, want a lot of attention. They might just want attention from you. And what I have here, Knight of Cups, his head is covered. He's riding a seahorse, okay? He doesn't know what he wants. So this person might not know what they want. But I know they want your attention. They want you to shower them with attention because deep down they are deeply very insecure. They could be emotionally very fragile. They could be, putting on airs. They could be wearing a mask. They could be like, they could say one thing and mean another. And their words could be a little bit like a lion's roar, a tiger's roar, right? Like, it could be very abrasive. They might want to tell you, come closer to me. But then it doesn't come out nice and smooth. It just comes out in a way where it's mean, where it's repulsive, where it drives you away. And so I feel like the way you're dealing with this person It has been a series of frustration. You know exactly what you want, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we are very, very honest about our intentions. And when we're passionate about someone, we make it known. Okay, but I feel like this person is very confused. This person might be testing the depths of your feelings for them. And this person might be trying to understand, how does Sagittarius feel about me, so that they can match whatever it is that they feel you're giving them. Okay, so I feel like you're dealing with someone who is really frustrating you, because I feel like they kind of segue, they kind of like go sideways when you're very, very direct. And when you ask them a direct answer, I feel like they go, they throw you a curveball. They don't answer your questions. They might, change the topic. They might switch things up on you. And so I feel like communication has been a little bit frustrating. And I don't see a lot of communication happening between the two of you because, Five of Wands, it is about arguments. It's about like the petty quarrels. It's about like not letting bygones be bygones. It's about ideological differences between you and another person. And it's on a very minor scale where the two of you, there's like attraction, but an equal amount of irritation with each other. And I feel a lot of it has to do with somebody thinking the world revolves around them. That, you have to come to me at my beck and call. You have to cater to me. I'm entitled to certain things. I'm entitled to a certain lifestyle. So I feel like you're dealing with this person, and it's been very frustrating. For some of you, this could also, like, they might not even be a relationship partner. This is the energy of the people around you, where somebody has a sense of entitlement and you want to set them in their place. I feel like, no one has told them no in their entire lives. They grew up spoiled and just bratty. And so no one has told them no. No one has drew boundaries with them. No one has told them, this is not the way life works. And so they feel a sense of entitlement. They feel that you should put your life on hold to cater to them. They feel like they don't need to lift a finger. And they feel like the world owes them something. And once again, when someone is like this, I feel like your strategy is to ignore them, to lessen their sense of self-importance, to not be impressed. And I feel like to kind of like deflate that ego a little bit. It's like your personal vendetta to try to deflate this ego. And I do sense that there's going to be a little bit of conflict coming through. Okay, so be a little bit careful that it's just be a little bit careful with what you say and how you come across. Okay, because honestly, not worth your time. Okay, this is really not worth your time. On the flip side of this, we have here the King of Cups. And this is someone who's very, very loving and very nurturing. This is somebody who is the counter opposite of that king, the other king energy. Okay. So I feel for many of you, you have the love and support and kind of like the shoulders to lean on, the ears to vent to, and the shoulders to cry on even. From this person. Okay, this is someone who offers a lot of spiritual advice. They're old and they're wise beyond their years. Okay, and being with them is very calming because they understand you. They have a very strong intuitive way to calm you down. They have a very strong intuitive way of like understanding human emotions, but also like human intentions. Okay. And so this is somebody that you can sit in silence with, and you just understand each other and the way in which they come across. I feel like they're very easy to be around. They're very loving, very nurturing, very caring. So if you found yourself in a situation where you had to carry the weight of the relationship because somebody feels like they're entitled to, being served, it's like being at the beck and call of this person. You're now in a relationship where things are really, really reciprocated. Okay. The other person is willing to put in the work, to wait on you hand and foot, and to, really take care of you. So I feel like there's a major switcheroo here when it comes to your relationships and the people that you have dealt with in the past. I feel like they might have been quite self-serving, even possibly a relationship partner. But now you're moving to this state where the other person's taking care of you. The other person is like watching out for your well-being. The other person is like giving you things that they know you love in order to make you happy. I just saw an image of somebody boiling tea. The tea kettle is on and they're boiling tea, and then it's a male hand. Okay, I'm seeing like a male hand boiling tea, pouring tea into a cup with like a tea bag, and then handing that off to a partner because he knows that she really enjoys tea. So it's somebody who knows you very, very well, and they know your likes and they know your dislikes, and they're offering you the things that they know you would love. Okay, I feel for many of you in the past, you might have been dealing with this person and they had options. Okay, so you might have been like casually dating them. You might have been putting in a lot of the work to maintain the relationship, and they might have had options elsewhere with the Seven of Cups here. Okay, this is like the fantasy. This is like mulling over your options. This is like, the Seven Cups in front of you. Which one do you choose? I feel like this person really wanted you. Okay, I feel that they are very attracted to you. And then I also feel there's a degree of mistrust between you and them. You don't know what's going on in their life. They might have tried to hide that part of their life. And you likewise, like, so the energy is very mutual. They might have been, keeping their love life, their romantic life, the fact that they're attached, they might have been keeping that private or away from you. And you likewise, there's a great degree of mistrust as well. You don't know what's going on in their lives, and they don't know what's going on in your lives. And so there are things like taboo topics or subjects that you guys just don't even talk about. And I feel like they might have had options. I feel that they feel or sense a really strong emotional connection with you. And then I also feel like regardless of whether or not you're single, they feel like you're in a relationship. So they don't trust the fact that you're single. And I'm sensing that this is a person, there might have been like some emotional distance or physical distance, okay, between the two of you that made it very, very hard for the two of you to see each other on a daily basis, to communicate with each other, to talk to each other. So I feel like there's geographical or emotional barriers that prevented the two of you from coming together. And I do sense the person is coming in with an offer. Okay, King of Cups here. And we have the Lovers card. And the Lovers card is all about choices. It's all about options. So for many of you, this is a person that really, really took their time, okay? They've traveled many, many miles, spiritual miles or physical miles, in order to be in your presence. So I feel like you're going to be seeing this person face to face, or you're going to have some direct contact with them, or even direct communication with them. So it's not going to be a text message. It's going to be over the phone, okay? And you're going to be seeing them either physically coming to your house, or physically coming to your work, or physically in your environment if there is geographical distance. Or even there will be like conversations about, coming to see you, and you will see them very shortly in the physical, like flesh and blood. So I'm sensing that they have had to purge potentially another relationship partner in order to be with you, because the Lovers card is about crossroads. It's about choosing between people, and choosing to let something go so that we can go move forward with something else. So I feel for many of you, they might have had options. They've left an option behind, and they're coming forward to see you. I feel like they really took their sweet time, okay? Knight of Pentacles, the slowest moving knight in the deck. He's on a tortoise, so he's not really moving, okay? He's not really budging. And so I feel for many of you, you might have two options here. You have somebody who's really mulled over this decision, okay, to be with you, and they're really moving forward. They took their long, like they took their time. And I feel for many of you, you might have, the whole image about aging. You might have waited for this person for a very long time. Okay, this might have been like your childhood crush, and you waited and waited and waited, and finally they're single. For others of you, I feel like this might be somebody that you have known for a very long time, but no one acted on it. Okay, so no one acted on the impulse. No one acted on it, and it took a really, really long time for things to finally culminate and for the two of you to come together. And then I also feel like the whole passage of time. This person really took their sweet time. Okay, they took forever. And so I'm sensing that in the past, with this Knight of Cups, they might have been blinded. Okay, got like a jellyfish over their head. Okay, not knowing which direction to go. Okay, and possibly not wanting to emotionally invest in just one person, not wanting to be stuck in a relationship, not wanting to be in a rut, not feeling like one person's enough. And I feel like emotionally they were just very, very confused. And now I do sense they're coming forward with this King of Cups, life experience under the belt. They've earned their stripes, they've earned their laurels, and they've earned their crown. And so they're in a position now where they're willing to offer you the real deal. Okay, so I do see for many of you, this is about nuptial. This is about, taking a relationship to the next level. This is about exclusivity. Okay, so I feel like choices and options are dwindling, and now you're focused on what really makes you happy. And I feel like somebody's coming forward to you to offer like a really grand gesture of love, especially if they've been very confused in the past. Okay, but once again, I do see two energies, okay? And one person is very self-entitled, okay? And I don't feel like that's the person for you to get involved with. The other person, I feel like, they've been around the block. They know what the world is about. And I feel like there might have been like a lot of turbulence in your relationship with this person in the past. I feel like they were indecisive, which drives Sagittarius people nuts. And I get that. They might have been, very indecisive. They might have taken their sweet time. And I feel like you're impatient enough where you don't want to wait. Okay, life goes on and you go along with it. And I feel like you're not going to put your life on hold for another person. But I do feel this person tugs at your heartstrings and you think about them and you wonder what they're up to. And I feel like there's going to be communication here. Okay, so it's lovely. Sagittarius, the only thing that I want you to be a little bit careful about is just your temper, okay? People will frustrate you this month, especially the beginning of the month when we are in the midst of Mercury retrograde. And so, be a little bit careful, okay? It doesn't matter what other people are doing. Just focus on you. Keep yourself busy, but not overwhelmed. Don't overextend yourself. Don't dabble in too many things. Don't, dip in too many pies, okay? So be conservative with your energy, or even be stingy with your energy, all right? I'm going to leave it at that, okay? And for those of you who are interested in a reading, I have a link in the description box below for a psychic. She's based out of California. I highly recommend that you book a reading with her, and the website that you click on is her exclusive website where you can find out how to book a reading as well as pricing and things like that, okay? I do wish you the best, Sagittarius, and take care of yourself. I hope this reading is helpful for you.